The purpose of this presentation is to identify gaps and to recommend changes for implementation for the current assessment system. Pine Grove School is a public school located in the town of Raleigh on the North Shore of Massachusetts. The population of the town is 5,973 residents. Pine Grove is an elementary school within the Triton Regional School District. This is a regional school district encompassing the towns of Raleigh, Newbury, and Salisbury. Pine Grove School teaches students in pre-kindergarten through 6th grade. There are 471 students enrolled at Pine Grove with a student-to-teacher ratio at 13.7 students to 1 teacher. The student population is comprised of students from different races and ethnicities. Within Pine Grove School, students are reported as African American, Asian, Hispanic, Native American, and multiracial non-Hispanic. The majority of students have been determined white. 13% of the student population are students with disabilities who are on IEPs. 25.1% of the students enrolled are not determined special education, but are with high needs and are considered struggling learners. The percentage of students who are economically disadvantaged is reported at 14.4%. English language learners are a very small amount of students at Pine Grove, with 0.8% of the population. 1.5% of the student population are students whose first language is not English. Many assessments are currently administered at Pine Grove School. These assessments include the Benchmark Assessment System called the BAS, the Developmental Reading Assessment called the DRA, Dynamic Indicators of Basic Early Literacy Skills called DIBELS, iReady is used to assess the upper elementary grades, and the Ames Web and Easy CBM math assessments are also given. These are universal screeners administered 3 times a year. These screeners allow teachers to determine student performance in academic domains. With the data collected through these assessments, teachers are able to differentiate instruction, conduct interventions in extension groups, and track student progress throughout their school careers. Progress monitoring tools are provided with each of the universal screeners. They are used weekly and biweekly and allows teachers to adjust instruction based on the needs of their students. According to John Hoover, author of RTI Assessment Essentials for Struggling Learners, through functional behavior assessments, the conditions associated with inappropriate behaviors are identified in order to develop a plan to reduce the occurrence of that behavior. FBAs are administered as an as-need basis, not 3 times a year. It is not considered as a universal screener, but as a diagnostic assessment for behavior. What are the gaps with using these assessments? John Hoover offers many checklists within his book to assist in analyzing the assessments administered. A checklist for RTI baseline assessments show that Pine Grove has many RTI components and training set in place. Universal screeners are in place. Core research-based instruction is identified in reading, math, and science. Currently, writing and social studies are being investigated for improvements. RTI is a part of the school schedule for grades kindergarten through 6th, with a half-hour block of time called WIN, What I Need. Intervention groups, along with extension groups, work on developing skills in all curriculum areas and include social-emotional components as well. Progress monitoring tools are implemented. Data meetings are held 3 times a year, along with grade-level meetings occurring once a month to discuss the students' progress and concerns. There is a limited amount of behavioral supports in place, which will be mentioned in the recommendation portion of this presentation. Much training is offered through professional development during staff meetings, half-day professional development days, and offered through afternoon workshops. One checklist he provides is analyzing the assessment competencies. Based on the scores of the checklist, Pine Grove scores with an adequate proficiency to extensive proficiency. The biggest gap is understanding fidelity in the implementation of the universal screeners. In using the progress monitoring tools, understanding fidelity in the implementation, accurately charting results, properly interpreting results, applying scores in a valid way, and understanding types of decisions made from the results, all scoring as adequate, but can be much improved for competency. Cultural factors are a key element to the success of the use of the progress monitoring tools. This will be addressed within the recommendations for improvements portion of this presentation. Fidelity is a weakness within the assessments administered at Pine Grove School. It is not with the administrating of the universal screeners, but with the progress monitoring tools and how they are used, scored, and recorded. Fidelity is also concerned with Tier 1 instruction of the curriculum. There are challenges that educators face, including collaboration, time, training and professional development, team support, diversity, and fidelity. The multi-tier assessment team members are key to each student's success. The team consists of the general classroom teacher, the special education teacher, specialists, content area specialists, ESL, bilingual educators, speech and language specialists, behavior specialists, parents and guardians, and paraprofessionals. When using Hoover's checklist for contributions of the team members, Pine Grove School shows a lack of support from their special education teachers, along with not having strong contributions from the speech and language specialists. These members do not provide expertise in academic and social emotional assessments of students with learning and behavioral disorders, lacking support classroom teachers with interpreting results, and collaborating for instruction. Pine Grove does not have a behavioral specialist, but is in dire need of having one. The most contribution is from the classroom teacher, reading and math specialists, and having strong support from the paraprofessionals. 5 principles of effective assessment systems that educators should adhere to in the implementation of curriculum and associated assessment can be identified to meet the needs of diverse learners struggling in school. The 5 principles of effective assessment systems state that assessments should be reflective of culture, values, and interests, must consider both integrated content knowledge and skills students possess, must consider both cognitive and academic skills, should reflect high-level learning expectations and outcomes for all students, and must include authentic and inquiry-based learning tasks. The assessments administered at Pine Grove follow the 5 principles, but they can be improved upon. Understanding how cultural factors play a role in assessment results will be helpful in distinguishing learning differences from learning or behavior disorders. Ensuring that the tasks asked of our students are authentic and inquiry-based can be improved upon, with administration frequently checking with educators on lesson plans and how they are meeting curriculum standards. By adhering to these 5 principles, Hoover states, it provides diverse learners the best opportunities to demonstrate their true knowledge, skills, and abilities in universal screening, progress monitoring, and diagnostic assessments. Understanding the purpose of assessments is meaningful for the instruction of struggling learners. Hoover states it will define its role where high-quality instruction is initially corroborated. According to the Special Education Guide, the assessment process is absolutely essential. Parents, teachers, specialists, and counselors depend on multiple assessments to identify a student's struggles, strengths, weaknesses, and progress. Since fidelity is a major concern for the assessment process at Pine Grove, it is recommended that administration establishes clear expectations of each member's role in using the data collected from assessments. According to Edtopia, assessment inspires us to ask these hard questions. Are we teaching what we think we were teaching? Are students learning what they are supposed to be learning? Is there a way to teach the subject better, thereby promoting better learning? Specialists should assist in answering these questions. Asking, what is working for the students? What can I do to help the students more? In what direction should we go next? Using the information from the assessments help drives instruction in all tiers. Let's train teachers and specialists on what to do with the information collected from the assessments. Administration needs to offer workshops that are focused on student needs. Provide resources for staff to attend college courses in the areas of literacy, special education, and math. Suggest readings and texts that pertain to issues, concerns, and areas of development that are the students' weaknesses. Educate staff on the 5 principles of effective assessment systems, breaking apart each principle in a way so everyone understands the principle in a way that will be reflected in their teaching. Hold more parent forums that educate parents on topics that help them support their struggling learners at home. Teach and explain ways in which they can build literacy skills, develop numeracy skills, and spark curiosity for learning. Administration can empower teachers by providing professional development, building confidence in their teaching abilities, and working collaboratively with each other. How can these recommendations help Pine Grove School? Gardner-Webb University shares that one option is to increase productivity is to provide experiences during the school hours that allow teachers to discuss student performance, curriculum, and instruction with their colleagues, as well as provide encouragement and support. Although Pine Grove School has professional learning communities, they can be more focused on areas of weaknesses of their students. By empowering teachers by building trust and developing stronger knowledge, teachers become more creative and willing to take risks. The classroom teacher will try new approaches to instruction, provide more assistance to their students, and be more flexible.